accountability and using your moral compass.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
It's a thing that's lacking in the media.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, it's really shining its head through right now. I think as an example with this Twitter situation, so to take a step backwards and to look at this from my perspective, I'm a CEO of a business, a tech software company, a great team of people that I work with. And, I would never expect anybody on our team, if I was asking them to do something that was immoral, unethical, against the law, not fair, to anybody else, man, because, why would I put my employees in my team into a situation like that? And I would never expect them to just do something unethical. Or Mike, I want you to go do this. And it's like, wait a second, dude, this is going to hurt somebody. It's going to be unfair to someone. It's going to defame someone. That's not right. But then you look over here at Twitter, this big organization that has such implications in the world. They say it's the town square of the world, basically. And we're finding out now that there were employees there that were doing things to their fellow Americans that weren't doing anything wrong, that had huge implications in a lot of parts of our country.
And I think, too, just to point this out, y'all have told all of us when we first come onto the team to take ownership of our own position. Yeah. And a lot of the time that means holding yourself accountable. Like, yes, you do have a boss, you do have someone that you have to report to, but if you are taking ownership of your position, then when things aren't right or you don't agree with something, you're owning that and you will speak up about it. Can we take a better look at this?
Yeah.
Something
or
like
just
that.
Like, hey, dude, what you're doing is flat out wrong. This is going to hurt people. Like, why would you do this? And I guess it's maybe a scary thing for a young employee. How do you go do that? But listen, the way your parents brought you up, the things that you know are right and wrong, just because of a job or anything else, you can't compromise those things. You can't ever compromise those things. I think they're like non-negotiables, so.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, too, like people rationalizing what things are okay and are not okay, and that really blurs the boundary.
But it's really terrible what's coming out now. But the good news is, listen, for anybody with an organization, we make it clear to our team when they come in, you see anything going on wrong, you don't agree with something, you think that we've stepped over a line, and we're always real careful about that. Man, the people in this building will speak up. They'll say, hey, I think you're going too far. No, I don't think this is a good idea. Even some of the clients that we have an opportunity to take, there's some consideration in those things too, just because we want to make sure that we're able to go out and do the right thing by our clients and by the people that we're marketing to at the end of the day,
Another thing I think, too, that you had said before, and I think why we're in this position to begin with is like the resources that people have, like the clarity what's in their mind that they may not even know right from wrong based off of the resources that they're getting their information from. Like if the news sources that they're getting aren't actually being truthful, or if their parents have a certain bias, they might have taught and brought their kids up a certain way. There's things that, I don't know exactly what it is, but I agree that, much like you said before, do your research. Make sure you know it one-on-one on your own to really kind of be accountable for what your actions are.
Yeah, and listen, and probably a lot of times, I think people think they're on an island, and so they're afraid maybe to step up and voice their opinion. But man, it's not a good way in life. You either have to, when you're in a tough situation and something's going on where you don't really agree with it, you either have to speak up or you need to remove yourself from it, right? And so there's no other right way to do things. Sometimes it's tough. You run the risk of losing your job, ostracizing your fellow people. But listen, there's never, when we leave this earth, the only thing we have is our good name. And that good name is based on the decisions that we've made throughout our life. Did we make more good decisions? Did we do things with care? Were we truthful? Were we honest? Did we look out for our fellow man, our fellow woman? And those are the things that we should be basing our success or failure on, not a paycheck. And if someone doesn't want you to be able to speak up and speak your mind, then it's probably not the place for you to work anyway.
Yep. And we're in an industry, we're the marketing industry. The things you say matter.
Oh.
The things you say matter. So we know just as, we have to trust our own moral compass. Is this right? Is this, and we've talked to a lot about this on our podcast.
Yeah.
Now it's more important than ever to be authentic and mean the things that you say and be truthful, because if not, it's,
live your legacy. right now. Live your legacy today.
Yeah. Listen, all these people on Twitter that made the wrong choice, they'll go down. This is maybe one of the biggest scandals to ever hit our country. They literally put their finger on the scale to sway an election. You know, think about the people that were there they knew they weren't doing the right thing. Man, they got to live with this for the rest of your life, dude. So it's much easier to deal with whatever the situation is and do the right thing, because ultimately you're going to have to deal with it, but it just sits there as baggage on you for the rest of your life. So you're not doing yourself any good. You're just putting harm in yourself by not operating from that standpoint.